It's time for the Tales from the Crawlspace Women in Pest Control episode with Jerusha Riopel, Jenny Wilson, Charlotte Kassler-Taub, Amber Allen Consolino, and Kandyce Nordquist.
Greetings, boys, girls, and cheese bags everywhere. It's your old pal Jack, Tales from the Crawlspace podcast. And man, do we have a show for you. But first, everybody's favorite father of the Pest Control Humor Depot, our favorite group, the PCHD overlord himself, Brad Harvey.
Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? I am looking so forward to tonight. We've got, I'm sorry, I'm going to sound like a pig, but I think we have got some of the most finest looking guests I think we've ever had on here. And yeah, I'm including you in that, Tater. So, I really cannot wait to talk to these fine ladies.
Oh, dude, I've been just foaming at the mouth, just ready to get this show done. Because first of all, having Jerusha back is the most awesome fucking thing. Because she is the OG of Women in Pest Control episodes for the podcast. She will always be
definitely.
She popped our Women in Pest Control cherry. So
that's right. You broke the seal, lady.
And
happy to do it.
But I tell you, you want to take turns introducing people here because I think everybody should get in on the fun.
I'll take turns, no problem. Hey, okay, I want to start off. You want to start off with the noobs and move on to our seasoned folk, or
let's bring them out first.
Right. Okay, we're going to start up here with Charlotte. You may know her in Pest Control Humor Depot, my favorite group, as Aurora. I'm going to butcher the shit out of this girl. Kakizaki, yes. I am so thrilled to have you on the show finally, Charlotte / Aurora. And you are definitely a driving force in the depot. Your pictures are top notch, and your love for bugs and spiders is beyond reproach. I mean, and I'm really excited to talk to you tonight.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. Coming from the upper Midwest, we have another very active member of the Pest Control Humor Depot, our favorite group, Miss Amber Allen Consolino.
Hello.
Glad to have you on here. Very, very glad to have you on here. And I just took a shot in the dark and kind of called you out on the depot about getting you on the show. And you're like, I'm in. I'm like, good. I didn't look like an asshole. So it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I was super excited when I seen that. I was like, hell yeah, I'm down.
Sweet. It's going to be a great show, and we're glad to have you for sure.
Exactly. Welcome to the show, Amber. Next, let's move on over to the seasoned veterans of Pest Control Humor Depot. I want to start with my next door neighbor. She is not only my next door neighbor, but she's also my beloved and esteemed Pest Control Humor Depot daughter, Jenny Wilson. Jenny, good to see you.
Thanks for having me again.
We're definitely proud and honored to have you on the show again. And Jenny, you never call us. You never visit.
I'm sorry. I promise I brushed my teeth and all the things.
Jack and I were just talking about that. It's like, Amber, I adopted her, and now all of a sudden she just doesn't reach out anymore. She just doesn't. Like, I don't know what's going on in her life. You should be ashamed.
Yeah, you only come back to do laundry.
It mean a lot to your mom.
You raid the fridge and you do laundry. That's the only time we see you. Is this what are we supposed to think about that? I mean, we put so much love into it.
That's right.
I'm so sorry.
It's like I could always tell when my biological daughter is here, because the lights on in the bathroom. There's a half drank Pepsi sitting on the table, and the hallway smells funny. But anyway, Jenny, it's good to talk to you again, sweetheart.
Thank you.
And I'm going to go back to the person I mentioned at the very beginning, the OG for Women in Pest Control, Miss Jerusha Riopel. It's so great to have you back on again. I think it's been a little over a year since we had you on.
I think it was almost 2, wasn't it?
Almost, yeah.
I don't know. It's been a little while. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm excited to be back.
We were tickled to death. It's like
we're definitely tickled.
You come up in conversation a lot, and Jack and I have often said it's like, hey, we got to have her back on again. It's like, but we finally did it. So
yeah, and that was a great episode.
So damn long. It was.
No, I think this is awesome. I'm really excited to, hear from some other people and get to know the girls a little bit. This is a great idea. I love it.
Awesome.
Yep, great to have you back. Okay. Last
Thank
but
you.
certainly not least, it is okay. Let me start over again.
Brain fart.
Totally. Is the woman that holds the odious distinction of being the most guested on Tales from the Crawl Space podcast with, what is this now, number 6?
Number six.
Holy shit, she's been on there almost as much as I have. And everybody knows her and loves her. And she is the better half of Family Pest Control out in Oregon. And to know her is to love her. And, to see her on here is to see that couch for the umpteenth time is the one and only Kandyce Nordquist. Kandyce, honey, welcome back.
Thank you, gentlemen.
That's my sister.
Yep.
That's your sister.
Like I said, I get to see my little sister, Jenny, and then my 2 handsome older brothers, and then meet all these other lovely ladies.
Oh, yeah. So you got to watch out for Jack. He says you're his sister, but he is from Virginia. So
I'm really close to West Virginia. Really close to West Virginia. And you do know how they circumcise men in West Virginia, don't you?
How's that?
Oh God, I remember you telling me this.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know this one.
Oh, I know this one.
They kick his sister in the jaw.
There it goes.
Crying out loud. Oh God. All right. Well, we are definitely an incestuous bunch here, so
everybody's getting some loving tonight.
That's right. Oh Jesus. Oh, how we don't get censored is beyond me. Anyway, so we want to talk. We want to play catch up, and want to talk to the ones that we haven't had a chance to talk to. Which one do we want to go first? We want to go with the new ones. Ask them how things are going. What's going on in their lives?
Let's start with the newbies on the show. Let's get them through their nervousness right at the beginning, so they can just get comfortable for the rest of the show.
All right, Charlotte. Talk to us.
Hello.
How's life treating you?
It's slow right now, which is, it's nice because I don't have to work like a crazy person to get everything done. I still do because I have a triple route, but it's not as crazy as, obviously when it's season. But there's just really nothing to do. It's just mice, which I understand happens every year, but it's that time again. So I had someone call me for a bald-faced hornet nest. It was like 20 feet up in a tree. And I'm like, girl, what do you want me to do with that? So I was so stoked. I was hoping that was going to be like on the house. I could get my bee suit on, get my PTPI out. Nope. I looked at it and I was like, that is not happening. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. So
I miss PI.
Now, what got
I don't get to use it at Trio. We're a 565 company, so but I really enjoyed using PI because it just knocks everything the fuck down like right now, and and apparently it makes a delicious beverage too.
It absolutely does.
Man.
That would explain a lot about me.
Was that okay? Hornet nest. Did you even get to go out and see it? Was it still active?
It was like first thing in the morning, so it was still like 50s. I wasn't really expecting to see any sort of activity in that weather when the sun was like still not beating directly down on it. So it could have still been alive. I was standing there for like 5 minutes. I didn't see anything, but again, it was cold. But I would assume at this point we've already had our first frost here. At least a handful of them should have been dead at that point. Like it was probably dying.
Yeah,
but
this is probably the longest stretch I've gone without a stinging insect call since, I don't know, late April. But yeah, season's definitely over. I was always good for at least one or two of those a day, in addition to my regular doings. I don't necessarily have a route. I am the wind at Trio. So, I go where the wind takes me and the phone. And, but yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've had one. I'm actually thinking about going ahead and getting my bee suit out and running it through the laundry. So, so season is over.
It
Get
sure
that
is.
swamp ass washed out of the back of it. That little.
Oh my God! Not just the swamp ass, but damn, let's see, the bee venom, the hornet guts, the skid marks from when I thought a bee was in my bonnet. I had a bee in my bonnet. But it's time to maybe throw it in some Tide, and because it is nasty.
Now,
Oh my God,
Charlotte,
so fucking nasty.
How did you get into pest control, Charlotte? What was the thing? What got you into it in the first place?
So I had just quit my last job, and I didn't really know what to do. And I have 60 pet tarantulas. I am huge into the tarantula hobby. And one of my buddies, unfortunately, he's no longer in the hobby, but we're still buddies. He was like, "You should try pest control." And I was like, "That doesn't make a lot of sense because I love bugs. So why would I want to kill them?" And he kind of explained that he doesn't do a ton of killing, really only when it's necessary. And that there's a lot more that goes into it. And he said, just give it a shot. So I applied and I got the job somehow. Still not sure how, but especially because my interview was just mortifying because at the time I had, I think, 25 parrots in here and they just would not stop going the entire time I was interviewing. And I was pretty positive that I was just not going to get the job because there was just screaming in the background. But I got the job. So here I am. I love this job. I can't imagine doing anything else. I get to play with bugs all day, and people are forced to listen to me talk about bugs all day, which honestly is all I really want. Because when I come home, I continue to play with bugs. So it just works out perfectly.
Mm-hmm. How'd you get in the business?
How did I get in the business? Really, I just needed a job, and I got on Indeed. There was a local pest control company, and I applied, and they wouldn't hire me. So I was like, well, I'm really gonna stick it to them, and I applied to one of the national guys that I knew would hire me regardless of anything. And originally, it was just supposed to be kind of like a fill-in until I found something better, and then I just kind of never left. I fell in love with it.
Outstanding. And how long have you been at this?
Yeah, how long have you been doing it now?
2.5 years.
All right.
I started in August of 2022.
Outstanding. That is terrific. So you still digging it?
From the lighter side of pest control, this is the Tales from the Crawl Space podcast with your hosts, Jack and Brad.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can't imagine doing anything else, even through those shitty days where you're just struggling and gritting your teeth. You still love it at the end of the day once you're done.
Excellent. I have to agree. I mean, I fell in love with it. Never in my wildest fantasies did I ever imagine that I would be working in pest control. I was, I wanted to be. Let's see. First, as all little boys do, we want to be astronauts. We want to do this. We want to do that. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a chef. I want to do this. I want to do that. Oh, here come the bills. Oh, hey, look, there's a pest control company hiring. So, I got in it and. Shit fire, that was almost 34 years ago now. So yeah, I guess I like it.
I've always said that there's people who do it just for the paycheck, but the people who really, you can tell someone who actually loves doing it. And you can walk into any company, and you can see the ones that are just there to pick up a paycheck, and the ones that really, really get into it and love learning about it. I mean, just the way they carry themselves and the way they talk about it in the shop, you can really tell. So that it kind of gets in your blood.
Without question. Kandyce, what are you doing over there?
That was Jude.
Oh, okay.
You saw the top of his head. He told me that I needed to tell you two gentlemen that he thinks Brandon should have been on this episode because, women in pest control.
Ooh, damn. Shots fired.
Yes, I told you their banter back and forth is amazing.
No. Well, when he gets out of sick bay, I'm sure there's going to be hell to pay for that statement.
Now, Amber and Charlotte, either one of you can answer this first, whoever wants to. What is it that you like the most about pest control?
Take the lead.
Okay. I love bugs and I really like helping people. So this is just perfect. And exactly like Brad said, I never thought I would do this. I mean, I have my degree in something totally different. But this just every day I get up and I get to make people's lives better because I'm not just the bug lady. I listen to these people. I mean, I've got a bunch of little old ladies who their whole families has died and I am the only one they have to talk to. So even though like some of them never really have any issues, they call me just so I can come out, reset their snap traps, and just talk and listen to them and so that they have someone there. I mean, I've had clients go through divorces and I've, been there to the best of my ability for them. I mean, just getting to help people in this way is so massive for me. And at the end of the day, I get to play with bugs pretty much all day and I get to drive, which I absolutely love doing. It's not overwhelming in the sense that retail was overwhelming because you're just constantly in front of people nonstop. There is no break in between, that interaction, and that can be a lot. But with this job, you have the 5 to, at least on my route, 5 to 20 minutes drive between these interactions to kind of unwind, roll the windows down, just have a good time, be with yourself. So I get those breaks pretty consistently throughout the day as I'm traveling, which that is the perfect balance of my introvertedness and my extrovertedness. So it just, everything about it is perfect.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
probably one of the best descriptions I've ever heard of this. Of why somebody digs it so much. And you're right. I think I feel like that we're put on the earth to do something for the universe, and be it one thing or another. But I think one of the most noblest tasks that we have as sentient beings is to help other people. Be it regardless of how you do it, as long as you're making a positive impact on somebody, then you're doing your job here on the planet. And so I think pest control definitely plays a role in that. And it's not just the pest control; it's the customer service. So, like you said, just being there for people who don't have anybody else to be there for them.
And the one thing, sorry to interrupt, but the one thing I have noticed that you just made me think of is that some people just really freak out over pests. Like, obviously, that's a pretty obvious thing. But for me, like, there's mice in the other room. They come and eat the parrot food off the floor. I really don't care because I clean every day.
Mm-hmm.
But some people can't even tolerate the thought of, like, a mouse being on their property. And my mom is like that. So I have sympathy for these clients, but sometimes it's just really difficult to wrap my head around what an impact I'm making in these people's lives.
Right. As long
Even
as
it's so minor for me, it's just like a quick spray. I could technically probably finish that in about 10 minutes. But if that means that they're going to see like 5% less spiders, that is life changing for some people.
Absolutely, I get it, but then at the end of the day, you guys to realize that you can only do so much, and then the rest of it is something they're just going to have to sort out themselves in one way or another. The biggest example of that is when you run into somebody with delusional parasitosis. That's the tough one, because A, we're not physicians. B, we're not psychiatrists. And all we can do is what's in our purview to do, based on our training, experience, knowledge, wisdom, whatever. And but you still can't help them, and that bothers me. And that's one of the biggest things. It's like I feel like I can't do what I need to do to make this customer happy for whatever reason. But sometimes you just gotta set it aside. It's like, I cannot help this person. And that's a tough challenge when you want to and you can't. So I hate to use the word you got to get over it, but you gotta get over it. You reach out as much as you can, get as much help for them as you can, and after that, what do you do? I mean,
you finish the ticket, you move on to the next one.
Unfortunately,
collect your payment,
Right.
and yeah. So your boss is not riding your ass for being late on stuff.
Yeah, my boss is a bitch.
Yeah.
Now, Amber, how about you? What's your favorite part? Amber, what's your favorite part?
I really like the problem solving aspect of it. My favorite part is when I'm not the first technician in there. I might be the second, third, or fourth, but I'm the one that comes in and solves the issue. And I'm the B&G god. Like, they just like worship the ground you walk on if you can solve a pest issue that someone else couldn't solve.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good feeling. Nice. To walk in and show everybody how it's done. Like, fuck yeah, buddy.
Right. Yeah.
Especially being a woman and coming in after the men and solving the problem. Yep. There's nothing better.
That's the best.
Yeah. That's another subject I wanted to something I wanted to touch on. I mean, let's face it, it's not a textbook thing for for years and years and years and years, women. This has not been a job that was considered for appropriate for women for whatever reason. But more and more each year, we keep finding, we keep seeing it growing, and I think it's incredible because I think, there are certain biological things that that kind of separate us. The ability of empathy is one of them. I think that women, at least the ones in my life, are so much more empathetic than I am. I'm a pretty empathetic guy, but shit, they blow you. The ladies in my life blow me away. So, that's definitely a great trait. Attention to detail, and just, being able, but then you got the other side of it where you got some ignorance going on of people, oh, you're a woman, you can't solve this problem, or, somebody on the phone, when you're talking to them on the phone, especially, maybe not the service end of it, but maybe it is the service end, but, time and time again, I that's what I hear from the admins and wherever I work. It's like you get one person that just reads the lady the riot act on the phone, and then when I pick it up, all of a sudden they're just like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "Fuck you, how you doing, man? You don't talk to the admin like that." It's like it's like, I'm sorry, you can take your business elsewhere. It's like go yell at the big green tea lady. I don't give a shit.
I mean, I'm sorry, but it doesn't require a penis to get this job done right. Plain and simple. Doesn't require a penis.
38.
Are you happy, Kandyce?
That's right. Yes. Yeah. God, he has to say penis at least one show, and I have to timestamp it. So that way I feel involved.
I had to find a way to work it in there. You know what I'm saying? I had to work it in there a little bit.
Okay, and Jenny, besides the fact that you look so good in the uniform, why are you getting into it?
So when I first got into pest control, I was just looking for a job, and a big perk was the fact that it came with a vehicle, because I have one vehicle and it's a new vehicle, and now I almost have it paid off, and it only has 40,000 miles on it.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Awesome. It's a 2019, and I got it in December of 2018 with only 40,000 miles on it. So perk of working in pest control is not wearing out your own car.
Mm-hmm.
True. So then I worked.
Wouldn't know.
Oh yeah. Sorry, but then I did a Donnie Marie company for 2 years, and then I did.
So sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks to PCHD and Tales from the Crawl Space, I learned that there was more out there, because in a Donnie and Marie setting, you are kind of brainwashed. So thanks to the good old internet and all my pals at our favorite group, I branched out there for a little bit. I did work in a greenhouse and do pest management there, but now I'm at a big big box company that I believe I had just started the last time I was on Tales from the Crawl Space. But
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. That's
yeah,
right.
so
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for me of why I love pest control is the problem solving. And now that I do commercial, I guess it's a lot of the problem solving because I don't have a lot of people interaction. So, but yeah.
You know,
That's what I loved about commercial. Just not having to deal with people over your shoulder all day. Like, so what could you spray there? Because 3 years ago I saw an ant there, so I need you to hose the entire house from the crown molding to the shoe molding, all of it, please. Because I saw an ant 3 years ago, one ant, but I need you to spray. And I just leave me the fuck
there's
alone.
a lot of advantages to be working commercial, and do not get me started on the restroom access. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the one thing I would be very happy to have.
See, yeah, I'm 60 now, so I can more or less relate to ladies. The frequency that you have to find a pisser is it just increases as my age does. And it's great. My favorite thing is when I'm at a residential. I was like, just a couple of weeks ago, I was doing this termite treatment at this lady's house, and she had like a split level, so there's like a walkout basement, it goes into the garage, and then outside. And she was showing me around because I'd never seen a house before, so because
what are those?
I got to go. Conversation was, let me show you the bathroom that you can use. I was like, come here, lady. Come here. Bring it in. I just want to give that woman the biggest hug in the world. And I did take advantage of her fine facilities, during the course of the treatment, but only once and only uno. So, I do have some manners. Yeah. It's like, let me blow your bathroom up, and then after that, it's turbo time.
See, in your 20s, your prostate's small and your bladder's big. But as you get older, they start to switch where your prostate's big and your bladder's really small. So you got to pee with zero warning whatsoever.
Exactly.
And often.
And when it hits, it's like, I got to find someplace. But then on the other hand, being a guy, I do have certain advantages where the world is my urinal. But in this day and age of surveillance cameras and stuff, it's not the way it used to be, buddy. I'll tell you what, man, you'd be able to get on that inside corner in somebody's backyard in the privacy fence and just go to work. But now it's not the case anymore because you got the eye in the sky. So, and they're not just watching you as you pee, they're judging you.
Well, what you do is you get right where the chimney comes out from the side of the house, right where the boxwoods, the AC unit is, and you face that little corner right where the chimney and the wall come on, and you have your B&G and you're like spraying up along it, and you're actually like doing your little trench and treat down at the foundation with the paintus, and you say. So you just you spray that way. So it looks like you're doing something. There's no camera that's looking through the brick at your junk. And you kind of wet the whole thing. So if you step away, the whole thing's wet. So it's plausible deniability.
Mm-hmm.
I was long rodding while I was cracking crevicing. So
yeah. I mean, because if you're doing something like that, you can definitely soak the entire surface. But you got to watch your aim. It's like. Yeah, they're going to wonder why there's a line going all the way up, and it's your initials. So anyway, so we got them warmed up. Dare we ask them where is the weirdest place that they on the job that they ever had to take care of business?
All right, well, I'm going to start with Jerusha. Jerusha, where was the weirdest place that you had to make a potty?
I can't think of any. Wow. I've accidentally used ones that there was no plumbing and didn't realize it.
But when you say plumbing, do you mean water supply or just plumbing?
Like water supply, like went to the bathroom. I thought you were like you were like in the toilet display at Home Depot, and you were like. That is totally something I would do. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a toilet.
Actually, one time I was up at I used to service a Boy Scout camp, that wasn't manned in the wintertime, but we still had to do the pest control. So I would call ahead, they'd open the gates, and then I would just be out there in the middle of the woods by myself, and there was no plumbing anywhere. And my brother also does pest control, and so I was on the phone with him, and I was like, dude, I am going to pee my pants, and there is one restroom on this whole site, and I'm nowhere near it. And he was like, you got to do the bucket. And so I actually did, in the back of my van, have to pee in my trash bucket. One time.
I've done that so many times. So many times I've done that.
For you guys, it's way easier.
Yeah,
Well,
it is.
I have IBS,
sometimes
so
it's
it's
still,
whole different.
sometimes it still dictates. You still have issues. Like I was doing a heat job on a house last year, and the house was closed off, no plumbing, no anything, or no water. The water was shut off, and yada yada. And so I was using a panel van because I had to bring all the gear. And sometimes we just get away with a smaller van, but I had to go to U-Haul and rent a big panel dealie. And there was still no place to go. But I did happen to have some Powerade in my lunchbox, so I quaffed that down, and I had it made. And so just get right in the van and stand up, hold the bottle, and fill her with Miller. And so that was.
You learn what works in a job like ours.
Exactly. Yeah. And especially with the sports drinks, opening diameter is important. So, those are the best because they've got those big, wide openings. And, if you're a sloppy guy like me, it comes in handy.
Well, I've had to go downtown with the brown and a contract bucket. So, I had my bucket with the fresh block and the bucket with the old block with the stuff I'd pull out when I'd switch them out. And that bucket went from being blocks to like a bowl of gravy train dog food. So,
Yummy.
Okay.
It happens.
Gravy.
Charlotte, you're next.
This was recent. I was doing, I think, a startup for a client who had just moved in. And I desperately had to pee. And usually I will run to Wawa because most of my stops are within 10 minutes. So I can usually make it there. But this one was a little further out of my route and it was not happening. It was happening right now. But he didn't have any electricity in the bathroom. So I had to pee in total darkness and there was no lock on the door. The door was barely a door, but I was desperate. So that was probably not necessarily weird, but definitely not my favorite time to pee. You know what I'm saying?
You're trying to find a way to hold the door in the dark.
In the
search
dark.
for toilet paper.
Exactly. Where's the toilet paper, man? Oh. And it wasn't even my stop. It wasn't even my client. So I didn't know this. It wasn't a startup. It just wasn't my client. So I didn't know this person, but he ended up being super chill. So
nice. That's a lot of people are quite understanding about this stuff. Ladies, I'm having a bad cramp in my hamstring right now.
You're good, bro.
Yeah, so
drink more water.
That's why you saw me grimace and undulate there for a second, but I'm trying to get it worked out. But yeah, it's having an understanding client is that just makes it so much. That makes the world go around. But anyway,
Brad, do you realize that you can head off those cramps if you hydrate properly from your Tony Spangler tumbler?
Yeah,
from your Tony Spangler tumbler.
My Tony Spangler tumbler. That's right. Tell him about it, Jack, while I sit here and writhe in agony.
Tony, that just goes to show that if you don't hydrate properly with your Tony Spangler tumbler, you can deal with cramping and hamstring issues and other bladder issues. Tony Spangler tumbler is stainless steel, double-walled, keeps the cold things cold and the hot things hot. It's the McDLT of drinkware. That's correct. And the graphics are so gorgeous. And don't forget, you can also rubber bottom. So after rubbing the bottom and enjoying your drink, sometimes you do need to clean out your urethra. And if you look at what Brad's got right there, that is a surgical quality stainless steel urethral sounding rod. It'll clean out what ails you. It'll open up the whole pathway for a glorious release. And it's curved on the other end if you do suffer from Peyronie's disease. So,
that's right.
What have we learned today from the gorgeous graphics with my face And look at that face. And his
and my
nipples.
yeah.
He's got nipples on there.
I would be remiss if I did not show my nipple one more time.
And with Tony Spangler, if you can dream it, he can make it. Any type of design that you'd like, you tell him what you want, he'll work it up for you. From weddings to funerals to bar mitzvahs to quinceañeras. I think I said that right. To brisses, to pesticide labels or podcast labels. Tony Spangler's your man. So, if you need to clean out your urethra and need to have a nice, fresh, refreshing drink after you sounded your penis or your urethra, whatever you did, remember.
If you got Peronis, reach for Tony. Steal urethral sounding rods.
Oh God!
I love that jingle.
Thank you once again to Jack's, the product of Jack's Loins, JT, for
JT.
a wonderful spot and a wonderful intros. Every single fucking episode that guy delivers. And,
JT is the man.
Yeah, and not because his dad pays him to do it, but because he cares. He has a heart. He has a passion for this, and it shows in every single intro and every single commercial he does for us.
That's my buddy. That's my buddy.
He's awesome. Such a nice lad.
Such a nice boy.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Oh, who? Okay, Kandyce, you're next.
I have realized that growing up, I was never super one to pee out in the woods. I would do it if needed, but it wasn't my thing. I have realized now that I will pee in the woods and not give a shit about it. If I gotta pee, I'm peeing. There was one time at this apartment complex that had a little small area of a wooded-ish area, and I had to pee so bad. And Brandon's like, go about halfway up, you'll be completely surrounded, pee. And I'm like, so nervous about it, so nervous, but my bladder was like, I don't give a damn, pee. So I did. And then ever since then, I'm just like, whatever, I gotta pee, I don't give a crap anymore.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, there's no shame in it. Everybody does it.
Ours isn't as discreet as a guy, though.
Discretion is everything. I mean, you definitely don't want to just walk out in the garage in the middle of it and drop your pants and because for one thing, the concrete will splash it back up on you. You don't want that.
And then you can get it on your pants, and then you smell like piss for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
But what about that Sheanol thing? You get that little funnel thing called the Sheanol. It's almost like a penis. You can hang it at the front of your pants.
You can, but you have to still take off most of your pants to.
Yes, I never understood that process.
You would have to be standing up to do that. You can't do that in your truck. You can't be sitting and get most of your pants down and then lift your body and somehow. It's just not. I don't understand it.
No,
well, the mechanics. I don't have a vagina, so I don't.
Charlotte.
Trust us, vagina owners. Okay.
Yeah.
It might be nice to not get pee on your clothes. I would think.
True. But at that point, I just take my pants off completely and go find somewhere in the woods.
I'll go frolic in the woods, pantsless.
I would find the place first and then take your pants off.
Nymph.
Okay, yeah, that is fair.
You don't want to wander around pantsless. Just find the place, then take your pants off. That works better that way.
Yeah, it'd be like you go into work the next week. Your manager will be looking at your numbers like, Charlotte, your sales have just skyrocketed this week.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I guess that's the beauty of a skirt. I mean,
Yes, we can't let them know our secrets.
Hey, they make kilts for men. I could wear it traditionally like this, like my Scottish ancestors, and hung out my weenus and take a pee that way.
This is your weenus. Right there. That's your weenus.
Weenus. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what that's called. Yeah.
Oh. All right, Jenny, how about you? What's the most unusual place you had to find?
So with Donnie and Marie, I would go in the back of my truck all the time because you couldn't see in there. And that was like a regular thing for me. And it wasn't weird for me. But then with Donnie and Marie once, I did go in the woods, did my business, stand up and look, and there's a game camera right there.
Oh my God.
Oh, sorry.
Oh shit.
My bad.
Don't hate me for being human.
Yeah. And then now twice with my current big box, I have peed off of the side of the highway because I'm an hour each way. And if I didn't go before either way, there's been emergencies and gotta do what
When you gotta go, girl.
It happens. It happens. Yeah. As a guy, I would say probably the most unusual place that I've ever taken a piss is in an actual toilet. Because again, the world is my urinal.
That sounds logical.
So.
Yeah.
Miss Amber, how about you?
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so both times I'm thinking of, I was heavily pregnant and on the field. The first time I was servicing this farm that this man didn't visit very often, and I had forgot the previous service. He had told me the pipes had busted and it flooded like the entire barn. I had to replace all of the base stations and it was a mess. So then I go the next service and he just is like, "Oh, let yourself in." And like it hit me. I'm so pregnant. My baby's kicking my bladder. I'm like, I'm just gonna go use this toilet. I pee in the toilet and it went flush and my heart dropped because I just knew it was gonna sit there for like 3 months before anybody found it. And I was so embarrassed to text him and tell him that I did it. So I just left it and I'm like, I just hope he doesn't say anything.
That's fair.
Yeah. I learned early on to make sure I have a good supply of water in my truck. So if that ever happens, at least I've got enough to get it in there to age of observation. 1.5 gallon flush is perfect because that you don't need to dump your whole day's worth of water just to get your just to send it down where it belongs. Just a little bit will do you. But I think we've all been there.
But if the homeowner doesn't like using their bathroom, you can always give them an upper decker and they'll never see it until after you're gone.
That's true. Yeah. But a word of caution, you definitely want to drain the water out of that upper decker so it has time to dry and cure before so when they turn the water back on, it fills up and by that time they would only suspect it was you.
Well, mine's like liquid anyway, so I don't have to worry about that. It just looks like chocolate oatmeal when it comes back through. So
you're the exception to the rule,
The perfect time.
Diabetes medicine. Can't help it, damn it.
You're the exception that proves the rule.
Now I want to get caught up with our veteran podcasters here. Miss Jerusha, you did change companies, didn't you? I mean, you've changed since you've been on the show. You moved on. So how'd that go?
Yeah. I mean, so far so good. I went from a very small family company, I think where there was like 13 of us maybe, to one of the big box companies. And it was purely financial. So that part has been pretty good, but there's ups and downs of every company, and the bigger the company, the more downs you're likely to have to deal with. It's been good. I mean, the branch that I landed at is pretty decent, which I think makes all the difference in the world with the bigger guys. But it's corporate pest control. There's all the corporate issues that come along with it, but my route's really cool. It's commercial again. I was doing residential and commercial. So now I very rarely do residential, which I prefer a lot.
Yeah.
That's so nice. And I have some really cool accounts right now. I do some prisons. I do the State Mental Health Institute that was built in 1883.
The stories you gave us, that was awesome.
Yeah. Super haunted. I go ghost hunting every couple of days. So yeah, my route's really cool. I like that. Just doing the job, having fun, killing shit.
So was it a step in the right direction for you, in your opinion? I mean, are you happy with the move? Do you feel you progressed in your career?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think the company that I was at was so small that I'd kind of reached the top within the year that I had been there. I was the head trainer. I wrote a training manual for them. My pay was I was told at least that my pay was kind of at the higher end. I was being paid similarly to what the guys that had been there the longest were making. So I couldn't really go anywhere else there. And so right now I am, still just a technician, but I feel like commission wise, growth wise, there's a lot more movement that I can make at a bigger company. So, and then there's different training things. So I'm kind of looking into adding some certifications, adding licensure, just kind of taking advantage of whatever I can to kind of move forward with a company that has that to offer me. So
yeah.
I do feel like it was a step in the right direction for sure.
Good. And get every certification you possibly can. Pad your resume, and it never stop learning. And it adds to your value, and it adds to your leverage when it comes to trying to maybe bargain for more money or a better position in the company, things like that. So that goes for everybody listening or on the show. If you get a shot at getting another certification, take it. Take advantage of it. Whether you think you're going to need it or not, it's good to have.
Right. And we and here on the show and on the depot, we talk a lot of smack about the big box companies, but to be honest with you, a lot of the big box companies offer some of the best training. I'm going to preface that by saying they offer some of the best technical training. They don't give you a whole lot of real life stuff, in their training. Real life scenarios, stuff like that, things that you can only get from somebody that's been in the business at least as long as I have. That's salty, that's jaded, that smells funny, that just pissed off at the world, but still, you got to teach the new people how to like drive around. It's like motherfucker, and then they go knock on the door. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, it's good to see you. How's Pookie the dog? That kind of stuff. But as far as the technical training, which is what you desperately need in order to succeed in that, the big box companies are pretty good. That's one thing. Another one is benefits. Benefits. Big box companies. A lot of them are. They've got pretty decent. Let's face it, like health insurance. All health insurance sucks right now, but the big box company will offer you some coverage that sucks less. And so that's another thing, especially when you have a family to consider and that kind of stuff. When you're young, your 20s, you can AC, affordable healthcare, whatever it's called, act. You can go through the marketplace and if you're making a little money, you can get a good deal. But if you want to make the real money so you can pay your bills and maybe get ahead in life, and you go to a big box, they're going to offer you something that sucks, but sucks less. So that's something to consider as well. Other than that, I got other positives on them. So.
Well, it seems like it is what you make it, and that's why I'm going to ask Jenny next. How about you? What's happened since the last time we had you on?
The last time I was on was when I first came to this big box company. In recent events, so I do run a commercial route. In my route, I was having issues where I do have an hour commute, and my days were like 12 to 14 hours plus the commute. And I'm a full-time student. I have kids. It was getting to be a lot. So I ended up actually putting in a notice. And that branch really worked with me. So my branch manager and my service manager, we sat down. I gave my stipulations of what I needed to be able to succeed in all of the things. I have children, I have school, I'm paying for these loans that if I fail the school, then it was for nothing. So I sat down, we had the stipulations, they agreed to them. So I'm currently staying with the big box company, but I just want to urge everyone that yes, we're the redheaded stepchild, big box companies, but really, if you find the right branch and you find the right people, they will work with you. And it's really important to communicate your needs with your supervision. So I'm really lucky that they were willing to work with me on that. So yeah, that's recent events.
Very good.
It just goes to show that when you work hard and you do a good job where you're working, that allows you the bargaining position that I'm this valuable. I've done this well for you. Maybe we can make some changes to make it work. Good, solid work. Special job. And it really. What's that look for, Brad?
Well, I think you're Starlink. I think the satellite passed you by there for a quick second. You were
Maybe.
buffering hard, man. You were like,
oh shit. Oh well.
Like your whole speech was just.
I know, and it was probably the deepest, most profound thing that ever came out of your mouth your entire life, and we all missed it.
And y'all missed it. Y'all fucking missed it. My point was that learning as much as you can and doing a good, solid job every day when you go to work will leave you a bargaining position to possibly improve your position at your job.
Very good.
So
there you go. You made it. Good deal. Yeah, and all I got to say is, it's a good example of you do get what you deserve in life a lot of times, but sometimes not as near as much as you do. You get when you negotiate. So
that's very true. Very, very true. Miss Kandyce.
Yes.
What's been going on with you, lady?
Well, I still work for the same company. Imagine that. Let's see. I did get to go to Indiana, and I used that as my birthday present. But of course, the kids and Brandon didn't accept that and still had to get me birthday stuff anyways. I have a dog chasing a fly currently, which sorry. Nothing crazy has changed besides that we're slowly but steadily growing. People are constantly calling. They're tired, unfortunately, of the big box. But I live in a very small area, so it is very support local before anything else around here. Like, people would much rather do that. There are a few other local companies, as Brandon calls them, they're the mustaches, because they're all old men with mustaches. Imagine that. But they think, they have, like, Brandon's been in this for a few years, but they used to go to his stops and tell people, oh, he possibly can't know what he's talking about. He's too young. Look at me. I'm old. I know. So I actually had one of them at one of my stops the other day. He just pulled up behind me and just sat there and stared. And I'm like, can I freaking help you? Because he is also one of those that women need to be in the office. So I showed him how much office work that I do he left by the time Brandon showed up, because I was actually on the phone with Brandon and told him what was happening. And he left, and about 3 minutes afterwards, Brandon showed up and was not very happy that he was already gone. But other than that, like, nothing has really changed. We still do what we do. People enjoy that. We treat them with respect. It's their home. It's their property. It's their business, whatever. Tell me your issue. I will remedy said issue to the best of my ability, or tell you how to help me, and get it done.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Can't beat that. Hey, speaking of, you weren't the only one that was in Indiana, Kandyce. I believe my daughter, my adopted daughter, was also in Indianapolis, and we had a great time. And it's like, ever since it happened, ever since cheese stock went down, I've been talking about it at every single episode, and for good reason, man, because that was probably the most magnificently wonderful time I'd ever had at a work-related function. If you could,
what am I, chopped liver? What am I, chopped liver?
Oh, chopped liver, my man.
Chopped liver.
No, you know I love you, and Jack was there too. But Jenny, I wanted to drink a special toast to you with the Jack Daniels that you left here for me. So here's to everybody here. Love you all. Thanks for coming. And
I thought that'd sit there for like till next year when I come.
Fat
Jack and
chance,
Coke.
sister.
That is all I drank that weekend was Jack and Coke.
Yeah, Jack and Coke. Well, I'm having a little sweet tea in my nipple cup here. So, I'm sorry, I'm on the air. I should be fancy. There.
Now I know we're getting close to the hour, but I want to ask each one of you ladies that if you had to impart some wisdom to a woman who is considering getting into pest control, we're going to go around the room. What single most important piece of advice would you give them? And I will start with Charlotte.
You're going to feel like you don't belong for a while because everyone around you is a dude. But I've always said that for a lot of men, this is just kind of a paycheck. But if a woman goes into pest control, she wants to be there. And the ones that don't are going to burn out pretty fast. So if it is for you, then you will show those men up every day. So just fight through the feeling that you don't belong. Fight through it. It gets better. And in my opinion, it's one of the safest careers for a woman because the men that you work with, if you know what you're doing, they actually respect you. And I can't think of a lot of other careers where, women are respected as equals or even, someone who may have greater knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Good. Well said. Jerusha, what about you?
I think just own it. Just be confident, kind of along the same line as what Charlotte said. Just go out there knowing, especially once you've been through training, you've got some experience under belt, just, what you're doing. You just have to stay confident. Remind yourself that you've got a place, you're where you're supposed to be, rely on your training and, fake it till you make it. And eventually it just gets to the point where, I feel like I used to have to argue a lot and tell people that, yes, I can do this job just because I'm a woman. And now I just show them and I don't have to say anything. And I just had to be confident and just kind of get through it until I got to that point and knew. And now my work speaks for itself. And any woman getting into this career, I think, we want to be here. We're going to make it a career because there's so many easier ways we could get a paycheck if that's all it was about. So you just have to own it and show up every day and kick ass and prove to them why women are actually better at this job than men are.
Hey.
Respectfully. Respectfully. I always say I'm a woman in pest control. Of course, I don't work as hard as the men do. I do it right the first time.
Ouch.
I didn't feel that.
Ouch. But that's fair.
Sorry, just had to throw that in this episode.
I'll give you that.
I'll tell you, in a lot of cases, that's well deserved. So, in a lot of cases,
it is. It really is. Mm-hmm.
It can.
Miss Amber.
Don't be afraid to be assertive. You know what you're talking about. And I mean, that's pretty much my biggest thing on top of what everyone else has said. Like, just own what you're saying. You know what you're saying is correct. Don't let anybody bully you into backing down just because you're a woman.
Just because you don't have a penis.
No penis.
Miss Jenny, how about you?
I would say don't sell yourself short. Know your worth. And it goes with a lot of things, not just pest control. It goes with your relationships, anything like that in your life. But in pest control, don't sell yourself short, just like how I experienced. I laid out my needs, and if those weren't going to be met, I was going to hit the road. So don't sell yourself short. Know your worth. Put in your best effort every day. Even some days your best effort isn't that great, and that's okay. You're human. Doesn't mean any less because you have a vagina. But yeah, don't sell yourself short.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
some of us
I've phoned
actually
it
put the fact that you have a vagina in a lot higher regard than others, but that's because we're pigs, So
I've had days that I've had days where I've phoned it in. I've come in my best day was not my best day. I just showed up, went through the motions just to get home, just to go home. When you feel like ass, and
I'm sorry, but I think every one of us in this panel can say that at least one day in their careers. I mean, it's it's human nature. That it transcends sex and gender. But it's keeping your nose to the grindstone and getting it done. So, Kandyce,
tomorrow's another day.
It is, and it may suck just as bad. But Kandyce,
this job is, if you really think about it, is like 95% mental work and about 5% physical labor. What are women better at? The mental game, whether it's anything that you think of. We do better mental. Men obviously do better physical. They can lift more, do more, whatever. That's neither here nor there. But if we can figure it out, we can do the physical part of it. So don't be afraid to just go do it. Trust yourself, trust your instincts, trust what you have learned. Just like every other woman on this panel has said, just do it.
Beautiful.
Well said.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and I was gonna take a liberty and add something, but God damn it, I forgot it. Must have been that salute to Jenny I just did. But yeah, I mean, I'm just thrilled to death that that y'all been able to come in here and just make the place smell a lot better for at least one episode. So there's definitely that. I will say that every woman that I have worked for has brought something different and special to the job that to the entire experience that I've had, and it's helped me. It's helped me understand women in the workplace a lot more, and also helped me to understand the mentality, the limitations, the advantages, the disadvantages, and all this other stuff, and put them all into consideration. And in my time as management, that was definitely a plus. So I think we learn from everyone that we come across in life, but I think I've learned from women more than I have from other men. And so and that's not platitudes. That's actually a fact.
Beautiful. Thank you all, every single one of you, for being on the show with us tonight. I was so looking forward to this episode, and I'm so glad you all agreed to be on it with us. I really am.
That's right. And you are all beautiful, like you. And I am going to add one more piggish thing. I don't know what it is. It must be the chemicals that you guys get exposed to every time. But every one of you has such nice skin. Your complexions are amazing. But why doesn't that work for guys? My skin is horrible.
Hey! Now, come on.
Okay. There are exceptions to every rule, Jack. And
it's called taking care of your skin, Bradley.
What's that?
I said it's called taking care of your skin. Just as I've taught my 14-year-old, it's not a feminine thing to wash your face.
And it's not.
Keep it clean.
It's not Cipronil backsplash or anything like that. So.
No.
Okay. Good to know.
Because Brandon's got great skin too. After I taught him how to wash his goddamn face.
Yeah. And the risk of sounding like Floyd the Barber from the Andy Griffith. He has such nice hair.
Oh yes. Well, before we go, I fucking Floyd. I alluded to a contest. You got me with that one. I alluded on the last video to a contest that we're going to have that we will announce the winner on our Christmas show. Now, if you see that flag behind Brad, and you've probably seen it on some of my videos, there's a huge, gigantic Tales from the Crawl Space flag. And we've got some rubber bracelets, ladies. Y'all want to show them the rubber bracelets you got on? We got some Tales from the Crawl Space bracelets as well. So here's the deal. Every year we do the Beach Motherfucker Night Before Christmas story. And I've read it for the past 2 years. On the website, if you go to the menu, you'll see a page on the website that says contests. when you go read that, the full text of the entire beach motherfucker story is on there. And the rules. The rules are this. Give us your best rendition. You have to stick to the text. The words are there. You got to read it as it is. The story has to be told as it was written. But bring dramatization. Bring extra people to do the other parts. Put background music, sound effects, whatever, and really do it up. And the winner will have their version. They'll get full fanfare and credit for it. And they'll win the flag, their bracelets, and some other stuff we might want to throw in there as well.
They'll basically win the entire PCHD and Tales from the Crawl Space catalog of giveaways. And I'm gonna sweeten the pot, and I'm gonna say, Jack, these need to be top drawer. And the reason being is because, not only will you be getting a flag, a Tales from the Crawl Space flag, you're going to be getting this Tales from the Crawl Space flag. This is the flag that flew in the inaugural Cheese Stock 2024. This is the one you will receive. This thing is wrinkled. This thing is dirty. It reeks of beer. It reeks of bourbon, and it reeks of bourbon and
Dan Bird
weed. But this is yours. This is going to be the prize. Jackie, just send me the new one, and that way I'll still.
I can do that.
But this is the one that's going to be given away at the contest. The original one that flew at Cheese Stock 2024.
So do it up. The words are on the website. Go to tftc.wtf, hit the little hamburger menu in the corner, go down to contests. The full story is there on the page along with the rules, and submit it either at jack@tftc.wtf or brad@tftc.wtf, and we will judge them. And on the show, the Christmas episode, we will announce and we will play your version of the story when it comes time to read it towards the end of the episode. You'll get full credit, full fanfare with it, and a whole bunch of giveaway swag.
That's right.
That's the contest.
Undying love and affection, which is worth more than any prize.
Yeah.
And Brad may wipe off his penis on it every once in a while between now and then. So there could be a little extra.
Maybe not just my penis.
Oh. You get a little swass in there too, so you might get a little something extra.
That's all right. It's too late in the year for swass.
I don't know.
Man. I might have another heat job come up. You just never know these things.
That's what I'm saying. Little something on the undercarriage there. So
that's right. They don't call us cheese bags for nothing.
Cheese sack. It's a cheese in the Midwest. It's a sack. A cheese sack.
And in Quebec, it is known as sac du fromage.
I gotta say, the first time I went to the Midwest, I went to a Casey's and I got a Dr. Pepper and a pack of cigarettes, and the woman goes, "You want your pop in a sack?" I'm like, "No, I don't want you to kick me in the nuts, but you can put my soda in the bag. That'd be great."
You want to pop in the sack? That's great.
Put my soda in the bag. Leave my nuts out of this. So, that's
Christ.
But
Get
pop in the sack.
Pop in the sack.
Well, boys and girls, cheese bags everywhere. Thank you all for being on the show. Thank you for listening to the show. If you're not a member of the Pest Control Humor Depot, our favorite group, you really should be. So find us on Facebook and tell us you found us through Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. You're not telling me. I'm not an admin there, but my illustrious co-host is the creator.
It's the separation of powers.
You'll see it. That's right. That's right. The Twin Towers of Power. Get in the chopper. But thank you all, ladies. Charlotte, Jerusha, Amber, Jenny,
thank you,
Kandyce. Love all of y'all. Y'all are so wonderful for being on the show, and y'all are the best part of the podcast. Really, you truly are, every single one of you, and I appreciate you. I really do. Mm-hmm. So, for Pest Control Humor Depot, Tales from the Crawl Space, Brad, myself, and all the ladies here, we ask you to glove up. Spangler.com. Thank you very much. We ask you to glove up for Kandyce and bug off.
Bug off.
Bug off.
Bug off.
Y'all come back now. Yeah.
Oh, thanks for listening to Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. Jack and Brad will be back next week with another great episode. TFTC can be found on almost every podcast provider available, and you can also find us on TikTok at TFTC 2.0, Instagram at TFTC Podcast, Facebook at the Pest Control Humor Depot Group, and our website, www.tftc.wtf. Don't forget to subscribe and share. See you soon.